So today I'm going to show you how to do the purl stitch. So I have here just a small piece of knitting. So you can see, if you already know how to do the knit stitch and you are ready to learn kind of the next essential stitch used in knitting, this is the video for you. So I have down here on the bottom of my knitting, this is probably, if you've been knitting a lot, this is probably what all of your work looks like. This is called garter stitch. That's when you knit a row, you get to the end of the row, you turn, and then you knit that row. And then you turn and you knit, and you just keep turning and knitting until you start seeing this fabric. And then above it, where it's smooth, this is called stockinette stitch. So this is the texture that you get when you knit a row, and then you turn, and then you purl that whole row. Then you turn, knit, purl, knit, so on and so on. And that's this smooth fabric up top that kind of is that classic knit look. And this is called stockinette stitch. So if you don't really understand what a purl is, every single stitch in knitting has a knit side and a purl side. So what's happening when we are knitting, we are bringing the knit side of the stitch to the side that we're facing, and we're pushing the purl side to the back. So the purl is all of these bumps. This is the purl side. And these smooth kind of little like V's, this is the knit side of the stitch. So when you're doing the garter stitch down here and you're knitting every row, whether what's happening, if I pull this apart, you can actually see that we have a purl row, a knit row, a purl row, a knit row, a purl row, because if we are knitting every row, every other row, when we turn, we push that purl side to the back. And that's how we get that texture. So now we are ready to purl. I have a little garter edge. Stockinette likes to curl in, so I have this little garter edge to kind of help stop that curling. So we're going to knit our first 3 stitches. Well, I'm going to knit my first 3 stitches. So knit. And now we are ready to purl. This is when the purls start. So to purl, we need to bring our working yarn to the front of our work. So I'm going to bring it in between our 2 needles. So I have my yarn here. And now I am ready to purl. So I'm going to take my right hand needle and I'm going to go into this first loop on the left needle through the front of the loop like that. And then I'm going to take my working yarn and I'm going to wrap it counterclockwise around the right hand needle. And then I'm going to scoop that loop up. There's the loop that we just wrapped. And then I can pull this guy off the left hand needle. So we've just purled that stitch. I'll show that to you again. We're going to go into the front of the loop here. Our yarn is in the front still. We want to keep it there. We take our yarn, wrap it counterclockwise around our right hand needle, and then we're going to slide our needle down and pick that wrap up. That's the wrap. And then we're going to slide this stitch off the left hand needle. This is the motion. We're going to wrap left hand. The working yarn is going to wrap counterclockwise just like it does in knitting. You don't switch the direction in which you wrap. So that is the purl stitch. I'm going to show you, I personally knit what's called Continental. So I knit with holding the yarn in my left hand. So I'll show you how to purl Continental. So we're going to go in to the stitch, and then I'm just going to grab this yarn with my thumb and my forefinger, kind of pinch it and scoop it out like that. And I'm kind of gripping this like a claw. Go in, wrap around, and out. In, wrap around, and out. So whether you like to hold the yarn in your right hand or your left hand, you can do the purl stitch. So there you go. I'm going to finish purling till I have 3 stitches left because I want to keep that garter texture on the border. So we've just purled, and now I want to go back to knitting. So what I have to do is I want to take this working yarn that we're using and I want to bring it back in between my two needles like that. So I want to move my yarn before I start switching to knitting. So now I'm ready to go in and knit. There you go, and that is the purl stitch.